In my last video, I made a third-person character movement system with animations, using tutorials, of course. I focused on the good parts and skipped over all the problems. Well, today, I'll talk a little on those bad stuff. I used Godot's animation tree to handle my previous animations, but honestly, the way I implemented it might have sucked. The animations weren't blending properly. I did not use blend trees, by the way. They also looked goofy, and let's be real, it was probably a skill issue. As you can see, it was a mess. So you'd think I'd quit, right? Of course not. I'm not that stupid. Instead, I looked for better ways to handle character movement efficiently without turning my code into spaghetti, long, messy lines of useless code. After spending some time and a lot of data, I found the solution, a finite state machine. Why is it great, you ask? Even if you didn't ask, I'll still tell you. For one, it organizes code into separate states, like idle, walking, and jumping. And it's clean, scalable, and surprisingly easy to work with. I rebuilt my character controller using this, and the results were practically the same, except everything worked better. I just need to blend the transitions now. There was one issue, though. My character kept getting stuck in the idle state. Since I've been trying not to rely on tutorials for everything, I had to troubleshoot on my own. After some thought, I remembered that the ready function runs once when the scene or game starts. That's when it clicked. The enter method in my state script was only running for the idle state and not transitioning properly. To fix this, I added a simple if statement to trigger the enter method whenever signals passed messages between states. And voila, it worked. That moment of figuring it out without a tutorial made me feel like a genius. There's still a minor, tiny, little issue though. The character sometimes rotates 270 or 180 degrees to face a direction because it calculates rotation based on the forward vector. I'm not sure if this is a real issue or just how the system works. For the NPC mechanism, last time they could only wander around. Now, with the finite state machine in place, they're way more dynamic. I've added animations like walking, and they even face the direction they're moving in. I've also made them a little hostile to the player, but don't worry. I can now track if the player takes damage when attacked, though the code for that could definitely use some cleanup. Oh, and don't mind the white sphere I added to check if the damage area rotates with the NPC's skin. Just some testing. The NPCs now chase the player when they're within about 25 meters. Outside of that range, they'll just wander aimlessly for now. I thought about using a navigation region for pathfinding, but that's something for the future. For now, I'm focused on polishing what I can learn and starting to plan out the game world. Right now, I'm just getting comfortable with Godot.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So yeah, in my attempt to make everything blend perfectly, I ended up with this. It looks okay, but there are a lot of issues, though weirdly enough, I'm actually enjoying the process. The animations, for example, sometimes act up. I won't go too deep into the why and how, but here are a few highlights. The player occasionally floats in the air, gets stuck in the falling state, or mixes up animations entirely. I didn't watch any tutorials while building this, which is why it's only half decent, but I did learn a lot.
Many unbearable hours later.
What I planned to do took longer than expected. I wanted to polish the player movements, and while it's almost there, I ended up adding some basic attacks as well. Right now, I'm still figuring out how to edit my videos, decide what to show, and stick to a consistent upload schedule. Honestly, it might be because I'm still learning Godot, and my expectations aren't always lining up with reality. I'd love to add health for both the player and enemies, but that would stretch the timeline just for a small progress update. So for now, I'll keep uploading as I go and try to find my rhythm. I hope some of you can help me build a community around this journey. Next, I'll work on creating a more complete battle system and see how far I can take it. The current map is just temporary. It's a placeholder while I focus on the character and enemy mechanics. If you've made it this far, thank you. Your support means a lot. I'm learning as I go, and I really want to create something meaningful with what I'm learning. Please hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.